Hi, welcome. I'm Leena Swan, your confidence and magnetism coach in dating and relationship. And today we're going to talk about why are you attracting emotionally unavailable men? And plot spoiler, it's not to do with the law of attraction. It's not to do with your attachment type. It's actually to do with something much deeper than any of those things. And so I'm really looking forward to you understanding the points that I'm going to make in this video so you can really get this for yourself and really turn this around quite quickly. It's really easy to attract emotionally available men when you know this one thing that you're doing, right? So firstly, where I want to start is, what is an emotionally unavailable man? Because a lot of you will be coming to this video from a variety of experiences, right? It could just be for you that you're attracting men who just never seem to want relationship. Maybe you're dating them for a few weeks and a few months, and like that exclusivity conversation is never really coming up. He's never really calling you his girlfriend. He suddenly stopped. This is a big one. He suddenly stops wanting marriage and kids about 3 months into dating. He was happy to talk about it in the beginning. Now he's like, oh, I just don't know anymore. I just don't know. Maybe I'll be a nomad man. Like he suddenly changes the game on it, right? Maybe it's just that you're on those dating apps swiping and you're just not finding men who are able to actually have a conversation. That's also a sign that there's some emotional unavailability going on there. They're not really initiating the conversation. There's not really much depth to the conversation. And maybe you also find that you attract men and actually end up in a relationship with men who don't feel capable of actually having the deeper conversation, having that heart opening conversation. As women, we thrive of heart connection and intimacy. And even though we get that from our girlfriends, of course, we want to have that with our man as well. So you may even be finding that you're attracting shallow relationships. So whatever it is for you, it's all part of the same package, right? It's a form of emotional unavailability. And you find yourself attracting that. And that's why you found this video. So the first thing I really want to start with is a powerful reframe on this, right, Queen? You're not attracting emotionally unavailable men. I promise you, you're not attracting them. What you are doing, and it's really good when we are doing something, because when we're doing something, right, if you're doing something potentially wrong, that's such a point of empowerment because that's something that's in your power to change. But you're not attracting them. You are doing something though. You're tolerating them. It's so simple, right? You are tolerating them. And it actually goes a lot deeper than that. And so I'm going to really explain why you end up getting caught up in a pattern of tolerating behavior or tolerating intimacy levels that don't align with the committed relationship that you're looking for. But firstly, let's not brush over this first point. You're not attracting emotionally unavailable men. There is nothing wrong with you, okay? All women experience emotionally unavailable men to a certain extent, right? Whether it's on the dating apps, whether it's an early relationship. So I call that the first 3 months where you're not necessarily exclusive. Women also experience this in actual full-on relationship, right? That is committed. It happens to all women. But the women who end up attracting commitment-ready men don't tolerate behaviors that don't show that someone is commitment ready. And they also do another powerful thing, which is they don't focus on the things that are going wrong or not aligning with what they want. They disregard it quite quickly and bring their attention to the thing that is working out for them. So if they're dating 3 men, let's say, and one man is showing up, she devotes her attention to the thing that feels good, right? The commitment level that feels good. She doesn't tolerate the man who's really hot, but just doesn't feel the need to message you in between dates, or doesn't feel the need to plan the dates in advance, or doesn't feel the need to book you in because you're a busy woman, right? So he's always hitting you up last minute. Like, she doesn't tolerate any of that. And all of those things are micro readouts of his level of emotional availability that he is prepared to give to you. And it doesn't make him a bad person. It doesn't mean he's doing anything wrong. But when men treat you a certain way, they show you what they're capable of. And if someone just isn't capable of giving you the level of commitment that you want, from the bottom of your heart, you're just going to, you should be sending them away with love. But accidentally, what's happening is you're tolerating it. And I'm going to explain why you're tolerating it, right? Because if it was that simple, you wouldn't do it, right? So it's you might think, well, okay, now I know this, I won't do this anymore. But it goes deeper than that. And we're going to get a little bit deep today. But one thing I would love for you to know is that in the description below is a link to the Raising Your Standards Queen Sheet. It has 5 powerful questions in it that is really going to help you understand why you're actually tolerating a lot of these behaviors and how to completely obliterate them so you can call in commitment ready men without drama in the next, the next time you go on a dating app, because it's not that complicated. But when you really understand the deeper reason why, it is such a game changer. I did this in my dating game back in the day. It completely changed things for me. I've done this with my clients. They're like, they literally slap themselves in the face. They're like, now that I actually understand why, understanding the why you do something is 95% of the journey. And then the other 5% is just behavior change. But if you think about it, just having the awareness of why you tolerate things that don't align with what you're really looking for, which is that commitment ready relationship that eventually leads to marriage or lifetime partnership, so you can build a family or have a fur baby brigade or whatever it is for you, right? And so it's a shame if you don't know the why, because it's making the game so much harder for you. And I promise you, Queen, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not attracting a lower level of man because there's something inside of you none of that. It is just that you're tolerating these behaviors. You're not walking away from the men who don't treat you the way that you want. And you're not setting boundaries in the dating process, which is also a second very powerful thing to be doing. Which I can talk more about in another training. But ultimately, yeah, you're just not saying no. And I want to really explain to you why you're not saying no. And it's really because, and look, this is a bit of a jump. So I will definitely raise my hand and take ownership that I did this in the past. And I know that a lot of my clients will take ownership of this too. But so, it's natural to do this, right? And this is why it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation, that when we don't say no to things and when we accidentally, without necessarily being aware of it, settle our standards, we're doing it because on some level, we don't believe that there's something better out there. So we're almost getting into this resourceful energy, which is, okay, well, this man is dating me and he seems okay. And, like, even though there isn't that much intimacy or, he doesn't really communicate between dates, but, he does plan some nice dates. Like, we get into this like resourceful mode, and this resourceful mode is coming from the wrong energy, right? Which is, I'm doing this because there's nothing better out there. Whereas if Chris Hemsworth walked into the room and you were dating this man who wasn't feeling good to you, who are you going to stick with, right? We're all running away with Chris Hemsworth or whoever your man is for you, okay? So we secretly on a deeper level just don't believe that anything better exists out there. And that's why we're tolerating things that, don't feel aligned with what we're looking for, which is commitment ready partnership, right? So with a man you find attractive, of course. So why don't we believe that something better exists? It's because we haven't seen the evidence of it in our past experiences. We haven't seen the evidence of it in our greater world. Maybe we don't even have friends who are in those relationships that are super loving, respectful, and there's clearly that attraction there, and it's a commitment ready relationship. Maybe we just on a deeper level don't believe it exists. And this is the point where the question sheet is your power play, because when you answer those 5 questions, you're really going to understand greater depth on why you are tolerating this, right? Because it's not that you're not smart or that you can't on some level sense that you're doing this, but you lack the conviction to walk away because you don't believe that anything better exists out there. And I want to explain a golden concept that I teach my clients, and it's called playing chicken with the universe. So I don't know if any of you remember that film Grease. I'm pretty sure it's from Greece, but if it's not, let me know what film it's from, because I always muddle them up. But basically the game of chicken is, you've got 2 groups of people in 2 cars and they both drive to the edge of the cliff. The person who puts the brakes on first loses. Now, obviously there's a massive flaw in this game, because if neither of them put their brakes on, they're both going to drive off the cliff edge. Or the person who actually wins might have already driven off the cliff edge by the time the other person puts their brakes on. So it kind of feels like it's not really a game for anyone to win. But that is exactly what you need to be doing in your dating game right now. Let me explain this on a deeper level. You're in one car driving to the edge of a cliff, and the edge of the cliff is not so much a cliff, it's your commitment ready partnership. It's the partnership that's going to be your forever man, the one you're going to have children with, or whatever it is that you want. Plan the lifetime adventures, whatever it is that you want. And the universe is in the other car. And if you aren't saying no with conviction, so your universe, and if you don't believe in a universe, then it's your world, right? Or the dating app or something external to you, right? And you're seeing these men come up on the dating apps and they're like, hey, and they're not really saying anything else. And you're like, universe, I told you, like, I want a man who's actually going to send me a nice message so we can actually have a deeper conversation from the get-go. And you're tolerating that and you're trying to make it work by almost taking the masculine role and being like, oh, hey, how's it going? Right. And he's not giving you that energy. You're doing that. The universe is like, oh, well, she's happy. I just did my job really easily. She's happy. I just threw this in front of her and she's okay with it. So you need to start saying no. Right. And this took me the longest time in my own dating and relationship journey. I was the most resourceful person out there. And I was burnt out with dating. My self-worth had crumbled. I lost all of my magnetism. I didn't even feel beautiful or sexy anymore, because I was just tolerating so much stuff from people that just wasn't aligned with what I actually wanted. Right. And so when you start saying no to your universe, the universe has to work harder. But all this while, you're still driving your metaphorical car towards the cliff edge because maybe you feel like there's a time limit on this. Maybe you feel like, oh my goodness, like I'm about to hit 30 or I'm about to hit 40, 50, 60. Turns out that feeling never fades. I can confirm that for you, right? And you're like, I need to get this sorted by X age because I want to be married by 36 and I want to have 2 kids by 38 and all of this stuff going on in your brain. And so you literally feel like you're in that car driving towards the cliff edge. So if you want to actually get that commitment ready relationship quickly, you have to be saying no to the things that aren't aligned with that, right? So anything that doesn't align with forever relationship, you politely decline like a lady with love, right? Because remember, he's simply not capable. He's not a bad person. He's just not capable of giving that to you. So the more you say no, the more it creates an energetic clearing for things to come in. And if you're not, into energy or spirituality, it's just physics, right? If you're taking up your time on the weekends dating men who aren't really serious about finding their life partner, or that they don't view you as their life partner, but they're still happy to take all your beautiful golden feminine energy, then there's no space for anyone else to come in. You don't have time to date anyone else. The minute you start saying no and you start having empty weekends is the minute that there's an opportunity for something better to come along. And that opportunity is the potential, the energetic potential you want to create. So when we start saying no to things, it creates a clearing for better things to come in. But we're not done yet because you're like, okay, great. I'm going to do the question sheet. I'm going to get to my deeper reason why. I'm going to start saying no to things. Awesome intentions that you have. Now, this is the biggest jump I'm going to share with you, but this is the game changer, right? And for some of you, this is going to land. Some of you, you're not ready to hear this yet, or it doesn't feel right or resonate with you. And you never have to blindly accept anything. You can always just hold the seed of possibility in your hand. And at some point in your future journey, you'll be like, well, actually, that does feel true for me now. The reason that we don't believe that our universe or our external world has the thing that we want, so in this case, it's the commitment ready, emotionally available forever man, is because it's a projection of our self-worth, right? So what that means is if you don't feel worthy of having the thing that you want, the commitment ready, emotionally available man, your world isn't going to show it to you because it doesn't exist in your reality. So it's a projection of your low self-worth. So that feels like a massive jump, but it kind of makes sense. So let's actually do the cycle of what I talked about. And this is going to really cement home for you, right? The first thing we talked about, point number 1 was at the top of the cycle, You're not attracting emotionally available men. There's nothing wrong with you, but you are tolerating them. Okay, well, we discussed, well, why am I tolerating them? Because you don't really believe that there's anything better out there. So you're getting into resourcefulness mode. And so because you're not saying no to things and you're tolerating them, you're not creating that energetic clearing so that better things can come in. Okay, well, then I jumped to, well, this is a projection of self-worth, because if you believed that you are worthy of having the thing that you want, the emotionally available man, and if you felt that it existed for you, maybe you think it exists for other people, right? Maybe you even see other people in your network getting these amazing, juicy, delicious, loving, romantic, attraction, hot as hell, like hot couple relationship, right? And they're married and maybe you're seeing other people in your network with that, but it's not available for you for some reason, right? It's become about your self-worth, right? This is the reason that you're unable to set boundaries with conviction, because on some level, you don't actually feel worthy of the thing that you want. So you're just tolerating the things that are coming to you because it's a link to what you think is available for you specifically. Because we all know people who are in these amazing relationships, or you at the very least know a celebrity. We all know Amal and George Clooney, right? So it clearly exists, but yet for some reason you just don't believe that it exists for you. So maybe some of those things feel like a massive step for you, but wherever you are in the cycle of, feeling like there's relevance in your dating and relationship game in that cycle, maybe you were like, yeah, point one makes sense, I'm tolerating it. And then maybe some of you are like, point two makes sense. Maybe I don't really believe anything better's out there. And maybe some of you are really resonating hard with point three, which is, this is a worthiness thing. This is a confidence thing, right? Like if I believed it existed for me, I'd have it already type of thing. Then wherever you are in that spectrum, that question sheet is going to really help you gain clarity on actually where this belief comes from, why this lack of self-worth to actually receive the love that you deserve exists. And once you actually understand where this comes from, it will actually help you to identify what emotionally available behavior looks like for you in dating. Because if you don't have a high resolution understanding of what that should look like for you, it's really difficult to look out for it in dating and know when to say no and when to say yes. So this question sheet is going to give you such high resolution clarity on what emotional availability means for you, because what it means for you and me and everyone else is going to be a little bit different, because we all have different needs, right? It's also going to show you how to focus on the things that do align with what you're looking for. Remember that I told you that women who are really good at finding commitment ready, emotionally available men, the one thing that they do is they focus on the things that are lining up with what they want, rather than focusing on the things that aren't lining up with what they want, because they dismiss that with, like a lady, with politeness and with love. They dismiss the things that don't align with what they're looking for. So it's really about raising your standards, but doing it from not just saying, okay, I'm going to raise my standards now and I'm going to say no. And Leena said, play chicken with life. And who cares if I never find love, but I'll make sure I don't date anyone who's not aligned with what I'm looking for. It goes deeper than that. There's a reason that you're unable to walk away or say no or to set boundaries. It comes from something so much deeper inside of you. And that question list is going to give you so much resolution. When you click that link, it will ask for an email address. That email address goes to no one else but me. I don't share it with anyone else. And when you are in my inner circle, you will be receiving all the freebies first, all the content that's going to really help you get to that commitment ready forever man relationship. And you will also be the first to receive any exclusive offers and bonuses for any of my coaching experiences. So if you have taken nothing else away from this, the one thing I really want you to take away is you are so ridiculously worthy of the love that you want. So there is no need for you to be in settling energy or resourcefulness energy. You're going to get the thing that you want, and you are so ridiculously worthy of it. So from the bottom of my heart, I really hope that this helped you. With so much love, take care, queens.